Ros. We're in Darlington today. It's an absolute delight to meet Martin and Starsky. So we're currently sat in a peace garden, which is a community gardening project. We've got quite a good environmental following, really, quite a good crew in Darlington trying to make a difference. We've got Darlington Friends of the Earth that do quite a lot to try and make things better. They've currently got a glyphosate campaign going on, trying to stop the council from spraying glyphosate. We've also got Darlington Forest Project, which over the last couple of years has planted 14,000 trees across Darlington and continues on, and they're all just volunteers. So we've got a big problem. We've got some campaigning going on here because we have a problem with house building like a lot of other towns across the UK. So there's going to be a large lot of house building going on, so we've got campaign groups trying to battle against that, but it is against a rising tide. Did you want to talk about the street champions, Bill?
Yeah, there's another group of volunteers called the Darlington Street Champions, and they do organised and not so organised litter picks. So the council provides the equipment, and sometimes they actually organise the location. But the group are all volunteers, so I tend to turn up on the organised ones, but there are quite a few who just go out and do their own thing.
Well, I think that's another idea, if you just do their own sort of thing and help. But it's attitude, and if you've got to change people's attitudes, so you can clean up forever and ever, but if you don't change people's attitudes, nothing's going to change, unfortunately.
That's the really difficult thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The other group that's active on these issues is Darlington Climate Action.
Right.
And they sort of range from being people who join in and do tree planting to people who get involved with XR.
Okay.
We had a green fair recently. We've had a couple actually, where all of the different climate groups came together.
Good.
And tried to talk to passers-by, get them involved. We had a big wheel of what people could do.
Right,
to,
excellent.
Increase their
Understanding the conscious, hit the
understanding it.
conscious, basically. We're all here. We all need to do our bit.
And that was very much to publicise COP26.
Right.
Because there was a group of Spanish walkers who come from Santander who were heading up
Yeah, know them well.
this
Yeah.
coast, and we met up with them in Darlington.
Right. Okay. Lovely.
Yeah, and a couple of things that are getting kicked off the ground now, so sort of new things that we're working on, is there's going to be an eco hub
Okay.
with a repair shop in there. So
Good,
that's
good.
very in the early stages, but that's what we're trying to get set up.
That'd be interesting. That'd
And
be
also
nice.
a tree nursery to grow our own trees from seed. We've got an ecologist working with us. So that would be fantastic. We're also doing a black poplar conservation project as well, just to conserve the rarest trees in the UK.
Lovely.
So we continue, and we'll continue with trying to educate people and get the awareness out there. We've done some street theatre, not me particularly, but there's been some street theatre go on where we've had some miniature trees with some cardboard houses that we put over the top of the trees.
Lovely.
Do you want to explain about black poplars and skirting?
Skirn, we've already talked about the campaign groups, but there's a big community forest in the north of Darlington with about 12,000 trees, and that is currently at risk through a big housing estate. It currently just went through the council about a month ago, which was devastating for us all. So at the moment it looks like it's going ahead, which is very sad.
We're just put in a horrible position, aren't we? Because we seem to help, so we can't do anything. But they've got to reorganise the whole structure of how we're living and our housing. I mean, we could make really beautiful housing that can be sustainable, and we can do things. We can make a difference. We are far behind the rest of the world in many aspects. You know, I mean, when I've come back to England, it's quite frightening. It's like going back, you know, to back 1970s. It's just like, well, come on, you know, there's things we could be doing to sustain ourselves in a better way. We are what was, how I say, we was one of the leading countries. We're not anymore. We're left behind. Okay.
It's such a sprawling estate.
But I think one of the other things that's really upsetting about the proposed Skirningham development is that I'm sure they're all going to be 4 or 5 bedroom detached houses.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the infrastructure, you know, the roads. If they want to put 4,500 houses here, that probably means 10,000 cars.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't forget, we haven't got the schools, we haven't got the hospital, we haven't got the dentist, we haven't got the parks.
Yep, all the
We had a system where so many houses, you have to have a park, you have to have a school, you have to have this.
Yep.
Now it seems to go out the window. No, you just put houses and that's it.
Well, I was told there's only about 600 black poplars in the whole of England, and there are 20, or there were 20. One of them blew down in the storms. Yeah, 20. They're all going to be destroyed.
Yes, I don't know what to say. It belongs with
On
people
a
do something.
slightly positive note on Skirningham development, I was at a meeting last night, which is a set of consultation meetings to draw up a design code. So at the moment, the area is zoned for housing and related development. The council has to provide a design code which goes into a lot more detail, and they've employed a firm of consultants to consult with the public to find out what people actually want, assuming that it must go ahead. And certainly the consultants seem very positive about green issues and making something that is going to work for the next life of a house.
100 years.
So,
One of the things that has just happened that affects Darlington is we've become part of the river and the coastal protection area. So that means that about a month ago we were declared that any housing that was built here, any development work, had to consider anything that ran into the river because it would be going out into the sea. So it's this nutrient neutrality issue. So it's actually, what it's done is it's stopped all of the planning applications being approved. Everything's on stop here for the last month, so nothing's happening because every development has to consider. It's almost like the biodiversity issue. It's like that, but making sure that any of the wastewater and the water sources running into the river are not going to affect and ultimately run into the sea. So that's positive, but I mean, it'll only hold off for so long and then everything could be back on it. But it's completely thrown the council. Everybody's had to get up to speed with it.
I mean, one of the annoying things is the local residents association are totally oppose it, and all the residents in that area also totally oppose it. And I always understood that, you know, elected people should listen to the people who vote them in.
100%.
This is totally wrong, and all the
Exactly.
local residents oppose it.